may be one of those that are affected. Home values across the country have taken quite a hit in recent years. But one thing that doesn't seem to have followed suit in many cases are the property taxes we're having to pay. They're supposed to be based on value, current value. So if your home's price or value has dropped but your property taxes haven't, what can you do? Turns out a lot. That's the focus of today's Take Charge Consumer Protection segment. And joining me now, Shari Olefson, a real estate and business attorney. Shari, thanks for joining us today.
It's my pleasure, Jamie. Thanks for having me.
Your information was so helpful when I had a chance to review the steps that we can take to actually protest or petition the amount we're being charged for our taxes. It's going to be so helpful and save folks money. The first one is that you say you should decide and know what adds value to your property and what reduces it, because that's what they're based on. What are some examples?
Exactly. Well, the opportunity here is that appraising or assessing the value is an art, not a science, and homeowners are actually in a much better position to drill down into that value than the county on their limited resources and time. So what you want to look at are the features of your home and the price paid for your home versus other homes. That would include the square footage and the age, the size of your home, the size of your lot. Maybe features that would make your neighbors' homes worth more and their taxes should be higher, like a pool or renovated kitchen, that sort of thing.
That's great. So now let's say you still feel you're overpaying. What's the first step to find someone to talk to about it?
Right. Well, the procedures are set by statute, so they're different from state to state, and then each county within the state decides on exactly how they want to implement those procedures. So for Broward County, Florida here, which happens to be similar to a lot of counties throughout the country, the first step is you have the right to ask the property appraiser's office to meet with you one-on-one and explain why they came up with that valuation. You can also file a petition with a board that we call the Value Adjustment Board. They're the ones who rehear these petitions and decide if maybe the property appraiser's office was wrong. Now, because they're so busy in most counties, they're using special magistrates to actually hear the information and make a recommendation to the Value Adjustment Board. But at that hearing, what you'll do is present your evidence, and then the board will decide whether you've overcome what they call the presumption of correctness. That means the presumption that the property appraiser's office is correct.
So that's great. So that the features list that you make that adds or decreases the value would really come in handy whether you're going to a hearing or you file that petition, or actually if you can go to court in your area, people can check. Now, what about other ways to save money? I understand that paying early can pay off.
Yeah, if you pay early, in most counties, you get as much as a 4% discount. Now that in this area is paying by November. In this area, paying by April is considered late, though. So you also need to be aware that if you're late, penalties accrue. And after that, the counties normally sell what's called tax certificates. And a lot of investors are looking to buy these now. So if you don't pay your taxes on time, that's what might happen. And after a few years, the owners of those tax certificates can actually petition for the deed to your home.
And Shari, what about if you have a mortgage? Do you have to take any extra steps? Are you obligated to let the bank know, if that's part of your mortgage payment, the taxes, that you're going to petition to try to get a reduction?
You're not obligated, Jamie, but that's a great question, and you definitely want to ask, because the banks, they have huge numbers of these taxes that they're paying each year, and they usually pay them electronically right now. So it's not like you can just call and speak to someone and they'll take care of this. There's three components of that you want to make sure that you take care of. One is the refund. So if your taxes are reduced and you get a refund, it's probably going to go to the bank if they're paying the taxes for you. You want to make sure you end up getting that money. Two is your monthly payment. If you're escrowing each month for taxes, your payment should go down. And three, most lenders hold what we call an overage, which is normally around 3 months worth of your taxes in an account for you. So you want to make sure that that account is adjusted and you get that back. And remember, lenders themselves are petitioning to have the taxes reduced on hundreds of thousands of REO properties they own as well. So they usually have systems in place for this now.
Or an actual department. Shari Olefson, some of us will be lucky enough to hire you to do this for us, but maybe we've helped folks get a head start and maybe they can actually get their taxes lowered. We hope to help. Thank you so much for being with us.
Sure.
And
take care.
You as well. And for more on how you can take charge on a number of consumer issues, go to foxnews.com. All you have to do is click on the America's News headquarters page and look for the link that I posted for many of this program's Take Charge Consumer Protection segments. We'll have another one next week.
Great advice, Jamie, every Sunday.
Thank
Just
you.
terrific.